Alexander. Hi, awesome guy. Sonia. Hi, David. Hello, the Dino idiots. Hello, Dominic. Kennedy. Hi, everybody. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for being here. I hope everybody's doing great. It is it's a beautiful day here in southeastern Pennsylvania, where I live. Hi, Dan. Hi, K&M. How's everybody doing? I do have a flute today, K&M. I'm going to start off right away with I want to show you something. I have to find my keyboard for, oh, here it is. So my desktop here, I am working. I was hoping to have this uploaded for you guys before I went live today, but I am about to release a video tonight, so this will be behind the scenes for you guys. I'm about to release a video tonight on a tutorial for Old Town Road on alto sax. So that's going to be going live along with downloadable sheet music. That's going to go live probably within the hour following this live stream. So that's going to go on, and yes, behind the scenes. And so the reason that I didn't get it uploaded is my computer. This computer is getting a little bit slow, so it was taking a while to get the video processed. But that's going to go up. I'm also going to have it for clarinet, and I should have the flute one done, I would say, within the week. And then I will work on getting some other ones as well. So we want to welcome back, as always, we have Dennis on the phone for your questions. Hi, Dennis.
Hey, how you doing, Steve?
Doing great. Everybody say hi to Dennis. And Abby, we will have it for trumpet as well. Actually, next week I'm getting together with Mr. Walton. You might remember Mr. Walton, who's done a bunch of my trumpet videos. We're going to be getting together next week to do some more trumpet videos. Okay. So, speaking of trumpet, I wanted to show you guys something. How many people out there play trumpet? How many trumpet players do we have watching right now? If you play trumpet, you can put a little trumpet emoji in the chat or raise your hand or something. So if you're a brass player, especially a trumpet player, I want to show you this really cool trick. I don't know, has anyone's teacher ever shown you what you can do with your trumpet mouthpiece and a ping pong ball? Here's my ping pong ball. Does anyone know what you can do with your trumpet mouthpiece and a ping pong ball that's kind of fun? It's a good exercise for making sure that you're using a lot of air in your trumpet. Okay, Jacqueline, right, you're on the right track. So a lot of times when students first start playing the trumpet or any instrument, they're not always comfortable using the right amount of air that you're supposed to use. When you play your instrument, we take a deep breath down into your belly, and we use a lot of air, especially on trumpet. So here's the trick. Ready? Here's the mouthpiece. If you take your ping pong ball and you place it in the trumpet, the reverse of the mouthpiece. So take your mouthpiece like this. I don't know, if anyone has a trumpet, you can try this right now. Take your mouthpiece backwards and blow really strong air. Now watch this. If you blow your air strong enough, you can hold the ping pong ball on the mouthpiece. Let me try it. See if I can get my air to go strong enough. Right? So that's a really fun thing to try, to see how long you can make the ping pong ball stay on the trumpet mouthpiece. It looks like magic. I'm going to do it one more time, and I'm going to try not to pass out, because when you use a lot of air, how many flute players do we have out there? Flute players know when you use a lot of air quickly, you start to get lightheaded, because your body's taking in so much oxygen that you get too much oxygen in your blood, and you start to feel woozy, right? I'm going to try it again. Here is my ping pong ball. And someone says they passed out in band class. Kat, you passed out in band class? Was that because of playing the flute, or you just weren't feeling well? Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it, Martina? So, all right. Why don't we jump into some questions for you? Yeah, Kat was playing the flute and was feeling lightheaded. Dennis, have any questions jumped out at you so far?
The only thing that's come in so far is people wanted you to play Havana on the clarinet.
Havana on the clarinet. All right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I have to remember the key that I do these songs in. I think it's this key. So that was in D minor. You could also do it, see, a lot of times I forget what key I do these songs in. You could also do it in other minor keys. Let's see. So I hope you guys liked my little clarinet there. Let me look at some chat questions that have been coming through. Okay. Someone's asking how to play Old Town Road on bass clarinet. So if you want to play any of my songs on bass clarinet, you just have to watch the clarinet tutorial. So the clarinet tutorial will be out soon. It's the same fingerings, bass clarinet and regular clarinet. Okay? Sonia, I don't know that song. Can I play Oceans on clarinet? I don't know that song. Hi Marissa, welcome to our live stream. Dominic, Careless Whisper on clarinet. I can probably do that. Mitchell is asking me if I'm a sax player mainly. Yes, I'm mainly a sax player. Hi Frozen Art. I'm mainly a sax player, but I also play clarinet a lot and I play flute a lot. So Kat, that's the answer to your question. My main instrument is saxophone. So thank you, Marissa. Someone asked for Careless Whisper. So I have to think of what my first note is. If I play this on, the first note is a concert E, which is F sharp. That's it. There it is. Okay. Thank you, Kat. Some more questions coming through. Thanks, Dominic. Hi, Frozen Art. Dan, you've heard the song too many times. That's why it's torture, right? Abby Midori is asking for "See You Again" on trumpet. I get that request every week, and Abby, I don't know if it's you that requests that every week, but "See You Again" is a nice one because it's in concert B flat. Claubert Stair is asking me. So Dennis, we're going to remember that question about Claubert. What's a good instrument to start on?
Yep. Got that one down.
So, and Geometry is back answering questions. Thank you, Geometry. So, "See You Again" is a really nice one on trumpet because it's in concert B flat. C, E, G, A, G. C, D, D, C, E. I'm wondering why my note is so out of tune. It's because my third valve slide is stuck out. So you got to bring that in. So if you watch my YouTube video, I think Mr. Walton plays that, and he plays it much nicer than I can. So getting back to the question, Dennis, that I was trying to remember was, what's a good
instrument to start with?
What's a good instrument to start with? Okay. Well, really, the answer is, depending on your age, some kids start on piano as young as, violin and piano as young as like 6 years old. But most people start either in fourth grade or sometimes they start in fifth grade or sixth grade. In our little part of the world here in the United States, we start in fourth grade, and we'll start on any of the band instruments: flute, clarinet, sax, trumpet, trombone, French horn, euphonium, percussion. I don't know if I missed any. So actually, all of those are good. Violin, any of the string instruments are fine to start on. So it really depends on what you want to play and what you are. Some kids are naturally better at some instruments than others. So in our school, we do an instrument tryout, and you get to try and see which one you're good at. So, okay, the Dino is asking, so I play clarinet. I want to get a new one. What's a good brand to get? So the standard good brands for, Dan, I'll get to your question too on a music career, okay? The standard brands of clarinets that are recognized as really good, you got your Selmer, Yamaha is very good. Selmer has a couple different, Selmer used to make Bundy. I don't think Selmer makes Bundy anymore. They're just called Selmer. There's the Selmer Paris, the ones that are made in Paris. Those are the professional ones. Those get very expensive. Those are very good. Other companies, Jupiter makes a nice beginner clarinet. What you have to be careful of when you're buying a clarinet, I think I mentioned this before, is you want to check with your band director because the brand name is very important. You want to be careful about getting super inexpensive clarinets online. If you go online, you search, how to buy a new clarinet, or if you search clarinet on some online shopping store, you want to be careful because sometimes you can get ones that aren't so good, but they're really cheap. So ask your band director for a brand name. I want to get to Preston. I'll play that for you on alto sax, okay? See you again on alto sax. But I want to get to Dan Castro's question. Dan Castro is here every week, so thank you, Dan, for being here again. And Dan's asking me about a career in music and tips for a career in music. Now, Dan, it kind of depends if you're thinking of being a music teacher, like you want to teach at a school, or do you want to be a professional performing musician? Those are like two of the main things that people go into. There's other categories, like maybe you want to be a music producer or you want to work computers and music or something like that, or composing. But mainly it's performing and education. So my number one tip, no matter what you're going to go into, is just keep practicing as much as you can on your chosen instrument. That's my number one tip. Get as good as you can. Spend as many hours as you can practicing. And then you start exploring colleges by what their strengths are. Some universities are more strong in education. Some are more strong in performing. And then seek out professional people who do what you want to do, and you ask them for advice. Okay, so Dan, actually, if you check in, let me know if you're thinking more teaching or if you're thinking performing. Dennis, do you have one for us?
Yeah. Yes. Two, actually, they're somewhat related. One is, what is the hardest instrument to pick up?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. I get that question a lot. What's the hardest instrument? Anyone have any guesses what the hardest instruments are? My standard answer is that they are all, if you want to get good at any instrument, you have to work pretty much equally as hard on every instrument. You just have to work really hard if you want to get good. Some tend to be more difficult for beginners. Okay, Dan, I see you there. Some tend to be more difficult for beginners. Sean got it. French horn is usually a tough one for beginners because the partials are so close together. You have to have a well-developed ear. And then also, no one guessed this one yet. Yeah, Dominic, I kind of agree with you. Piano is definitely one of the hardest because you've got two hands doing independent things. But I would say probably the other one people say is usually like oboe because it takes a really well-developed embouchure. And your fingers, you have to really stretch out usually to play the oboe. So, Dan, you said you're thinking about music education. So it depends on where you live, but you should check out do some research of what some good universities are for music ed. And actually, my same advice applies. Practice as much as you can. Since you're going into education, not just your primary instrument, you should start learning piano. You should start developing your singing voice, because you have to get comfortable with your singing voice. Not that you're going to go on stage and be a professional singer, but you have to get comfortable singing as if you're in a choir, just learning how to read music and sing and sing sight sing. Okay, so I did promise I would do this request. Someone requested to see you again on alto sax. So let me get my alto sax. Hooded Kermit, do I remember you? Well, I don't remember you by your YouTube name, but if I've taught you before, I probably remember you. All right, so here is See You Again on alto sax. So there's basically that song on alto sax. Jacqueline Fuentes has thank you guys. Jacqueline Fuentes has a really good question on how to go from C to D on the flute. And I actually have a video on this. It's called the Flute D-C Challenge. So let me get my flute. Here is my flute. Going from C to D, thank you, Francesco, grazie. Going from C to D on flute is probably the most challenging thing for beginners, because when you're holding the flute on the D note, you've got a lot of fingers to press down. You got your thumb, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you can really hold on to the flute. But when you move to a C, it's just this finger and your pinky, and you feel like the flute's going to drop out of your hands. So what you have to do is you have to know how to balance the flute on a C. When you're playing just C, it's your knuckle right here, presses the flute here, it presses it into your lip, you've got your thumb underneath and your pinky here. And my video, if you check it out, the DC Challenge, it's just going back and forth slowly between D and C. Okay, Dennis, you got a question for us?
Yes, Calico Cat wants to know what's a good order to add instruments on, like clarinet to sax or flute to trumpet.
Oh, if you play an instrument and you want to add more?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, it depends. Some people say it's easier to start on clarinet and change and then go to alto sax or go to sax, because clarinet, you have to cover the holes. So clarinet might be a little, like going from clarinet to sax might be the way to go, as opposed to going sax to clarinet. But you can do it either way. I really learned saxophone first. I played clarinet, but I wasn't that good at it. I got good at saxophone, and then I went back and I got good at clarinet. Flute is just a whole different ballgame because your lips are different. So I don't know if there's any one right way to do it. Apple Studios, can you do clarinet to flute? Yes, I learned flute after I learned saxophone and clarinet. I just had to learn the different mouth position, okay? And Calico Cat, yes, if you start on alto sax, I mean, you can get good at anything if you practice it. There's no rules, you know? So if you just pick an instrument that you want to learn and you spend time on it, you will get good at it, I promise, okay? Unicorn Girl Forever, I learned clarinet. I started in 5th grade. And then I practiced, I did okay, but I didn't practice a whole lot. I didn't practice like I should have. I got into saxophone in high school, and then I got really into practicing, and then I got good at it, and I went back to clarinet. So, Dominic G, can you do harmonics on alto? Yes. Do you guys know what harmonics are, or overtones? Does anyone know what harmonics or overtones are? Someone just asked me my brand of alto sax. It is a Selmer Mark 6. You can barely see it because my saxophone looks old and scratchy, but it's actually a really nice saxophone. All right, I know Dan knows what they are. Dan, you know what overtones are. They're kind of hard to explain, but you know what it is? On a trumpet, you know how trumpets can... Okay, so people that have never heard of overtones or harmonics, here's how you explain it. On a trumpet, you know how a trumpet works? You can just play without pressing any valves down, and you can play these bugle songs like this. From the bottom. So you got things like, oh boy, not warmed up at all. Right, that song. So those are overtones, all right, that naturally happen on a brass instrument. You can do it on a saxophone. You hold down your low B flat, and you get the higher notes. They're like controlled squeaks. And you can go even higher. Oh, I can't quite get that one I sang, but that's the overtone series on saxophones. Really good to practice that. Dennis, you got a question for us?
Yeah, Brad Bradford, I guess, or Bud Bradford, wanted to know, he's a middle schooler playing in a high school band, and he's being overwhelmed with getting new music every week, and having to be at football games every week, and then have parades twice a month. Is there any hints you might have to help to deal with that?
Sure. Do you remember who this person is?
Yeah, his name's Bud Bradford, I think.
Bradford? Yeah.
Brad Bradford.
Brad Bradford is asking, so feeling overwhelmed. Oh, there you are, Brad. So, Brad, you're feeling overwhelmed with all of the, so they have you playing in high school, even though you're in middle school, they have you playing with the high school band. So I would say, first of all, try to not get too... I'm going to come back to the people asking me for triple high C on trumpet. No, I can't do that. I'm not that good. I have friends that can play triple high C on trumpet. So what I would say is, first, don't be too hard on yourself. Because your director, I'm sure, understands that you're in middle school. Your director has different expectations for you than the high school students. So the director is actually showing confidence in you by having you play with the high school group, and maybe will understand that you're not going to progress at the same rate as the high schoolers. So I would say, if there's something... Yes, Dennis?
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I would say, just take your time, choose things to practice that seem challenging to you, but don't seem impossible. So take something that seems challenging and work on that, and then you'll slowly build your way up, and I think you're going to do better than you're nervous that you're going to do. I think you're going to do fine. So I hope that helps. I have a lot of people asking me for super high notes on the trumpet. I really can't do that because I don't practice trumpet really much at all. I play trumpet with my students at school, but my main instruments are saxophone and clarinet. I'd say my highest note on trumpet is... I gotta make sure I have this. High geometry. So you get high notes on the trumpet by trying to do that buzz. Oh, Brad, okay, so I misinterpreted your question. You're not overwhelmed, but you needed tips on balancing your personal life and your practicing. I would say in that case, set a practicing schedule. Setting a practicing schedule, look at your different days of the week. What days can you fit in a half hour, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, and schedule yourself and stick to a schedule. That's my advice for that. Keyshawn is asking me high G on the trumpet. I can barely just get it, but I'm not going to try it right now. So someone asked a couple times what happened to my tutorials, Yeah, it's been a little slow with my tutorials, but if you missed, I don't know if you're here at the beginning of my chat, my live stream, I'm going to, hi Jules, at the beginning of my chat, I talked about I'm going to release one tutorial tonight on alto sax, Old Town Road, and I'm also going to do, I have clarinet is almost done, flute is going to be done by the end of the week, and my friend Mr. Walton is going to come in and do trumpet. So we're going to get a bunch of tutorials going for you. So I hope that that helps. Yeah, Jules. So you'll get one on alto sax tonight. Actually, as soon as I get off of this live stream, I'm gonna put it on. So, how more questions coming through? Yay, Jules. Dennis, anything coming?
Yeah, if you check Sean Bryant, he has a question about donating something.
Sean Bryant. Sean Bryant wants to donate instruments.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very nice. Sean, why don't you reach out to me on, well, here's a good opportunity. Let me show you. Guys, if you don't know how to get in touch with me, I'm going to show you all my social media stuff. Here it is. There we go. So hopefully you guys can see that. So if you need to get in touch with me, make a connection. Sean made a very nice offer to donate some instruments for my students. I think if I understand you correctly. So there's my Instagram, my Twitter, and my Facebook at Dr. Selfridge. So please feel free to reach out to me, and we'll talk about that. Someone asked me about, do I have iMovie? Yes, I use iMovie. So here's some behind the scenes, guys. You ready for this? I'm going to bring you over here. Here's my computer, obviously. And so I'm working on, if you look here, I have all my videos that I recorded this afternoon. It's me playing the saxophone on Old Town Road. And I had put my, if I'm going to add extra sound clips, I put them down here. If I have extra things on the screen, I put them up here. So here's a little preview of my tutorial that's going to be coming out. Here it is. Let's see here. Oh, it says my share was successful. That's good. Here we go. Let's watch this a little bit. Hey everybody, it's Dr. Selfridge. In this video we're going to learn how to play the song Old Town Road on alto sax. The sheet music is linked below. So that is how you can see I'm wearing the same shirt because I just did it. I just did it this afternoon. So yeah, that is how I do my videos. It's how I produce them on iMovie, and I export them to YouTube. So I think I have someone here that's been asking a question and is looking for an answer. Visual Diamonds. Can you ask your question again? And while I'm doing that, Brian, I record my videos on Dennis, could you keep an eye out for a question from Visual Diamonds? I think he has. Or is he just saying hi?
They're just kind of saying hi.
Okay. All right. All right. So let me show you guys. Here's more behind the scenes, okay? This is how I record my videos on that camera right there. So that is a Panasonic camera, and my microphone is right there-ish, and I have my lights. So that's my setup for recording videos. Okay, we are getting close to the end. Big Dog, how to play a triple high C on the Barry sax. Okay, so triple high C on any saxophone is the same fingering. I'll do it on tenor sax. It is when you do, let's see, how do you do a high C? It's octave key,
Let me think here. Yeah. So it is your octave key, it's your E flat key, your first finger, your third finger, your first finger, your third finger, and your pinky on low C. Did you get all that? Thumb, E flat, 1, 3, 1, 3, pinky. That's how I play high C on my saxophone. It sometimes varies. Your saxophone might work a little bit better on something else, but that's how I do it. Oh, thank you. Shadowbolt is chiming in and saying there was a request, to play the Pokemon song. I don't know the Pokemon song. I have to do my homework on that, okay? Mike Hamilton is saying hi from Scotland, the Roslyn School. You know what? This is a great way. I usually sign off this way because we are just about out of time. Oh, good. Dominic, you got the high C? Good job. Why don't we do some check-ins and some shout-outs? Mike, I can play Summertime for you. What instrument, Mike, would you like me to play Summertime on? Mike Hamilton is going to give me a request from Scotland. What instrument would you like me to play Summertime with? Yavuz is saying hello from Turkey. Thank you for watching. Oh, okay, Mike wants it on alto. All right, so Summertime is usually in this key. It's in B minor for alto, I'm pretty sure. That's how you play Summertime. That was in B minor. F sharp, D, F sharp is how I started it, okay? So yeah. Oh, Mike, you will be that good if you keep practicing, okay? So thank you all very much. Cheers to you. Let's do a couple more shout outs. Let me know where you're watching from, and I'll do a few more shout outs. Thank you, Shadowbolt. So before we check in or check out, Brad is in Texas. Before we check out for another week, I'm going to do some shout outs. Hope everyone is having a great summer. Odyssey is in San Antonio. A lot of people in Texas. Apple is in Texas. Shadowbolt's in Arizona. Xfear is in Indiana. Calico is in California. Halation is in California. Let's see. Geometry is in studios, or Geometry Dash Player is in Texas. Sean is in Gold Hill, Southern Oregon. Big Dog is in Oklahoma. Aliena is in Michigan. Dan is in Florida. Hi, Dan. Thank you for being here again. A lot of Texas people. All right, Texas is winning the battle of the states. Martina is in Brazil. Hello. Mauro is in Italy. Ciao. Peaceful Playlist. Oh, I played Monin last week. Gamer Musician is in New York. Antonio is asking for Take 5. I don't think I'm going to do any more requests today, guys, because I have to get going. But check in with me again next week. If you get in at the beginning of the stream, I usually get to my requests at the beginning of the stream. I did Monin last week, but I can do it next week. So thank you all very much for checking in. Again, I'm in the middle of my summertime here. Lucas is in Germany. I'm in the middle of my summertime, but I've been going into school. I don't know if you guys saw on my Instagram. So last thing I'll say today. On my Instagram, I told you guys last week, at Dr. Selfridge, I posted a little video montage, little clips of what we did in my high school marching band practice this past Wednesday night. So we had our first summer band practice this past Wednesday night. I put a video up on my Instagram. So check out my Instagram. Follow me there if you have Instagram. Okay. And you can see what I did at my band camp. We have another one this Wednesday. I'm very excited. Last question. Lath, I think I'm probably saying that wrong. What's the highest note on bass clarinet? Pretty much up to a high C, high D, high E flat. They don't go much higher than that, although you can play pretty high on a bass clarinet. You get into your altissimo fingerings, and it goes up pretty high. C, D, E, F. I don't know how high bass clarinet music goes, but not much more than that. Okay, thank you guys so much. Can we say thank you, guys? I'm sorry. I know all your requests are coming in. We'll do more requests next week, more questions next week. Brad, my band, I'm in Glen Mills, Pennsylvania. It's called Garnet Valley High School. That's where I teach in Pennsylvania. We're just outside of Philadelphia. Okay. So let's all give a big thank you to Dennis. Thank you, Dennis.
You're very welcome.
All right. As always, Dennis was here helping field your questions and sending them to me. And thank you all so much for being here. Keep an eye out. Coming tonight is the tutorial for alto sax, and probably tomorrow for clarinet for Old Town Road, and flute coming soon. Okay, everybody. So until next week, I will see you all later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.